Trish, will you give yourself an introduction, please?
Hey, okay, so first, thank you for having me, Colton. It's nice to talk to you. So I'm Trisha Cerrone, and I'm an author of young adult adventure stories. I have a series called The Black Swan Files that I'm working on right now, and the third book will be coming out at the end of April. I first got my publishing deal with a New York publisher for romance. So I did kind of romance adventure. And I think I can do all different genres, but my stuff is always going to be sort of family, friends, hope,
Mm,
and lots of action adventure and humor. So like I do kind of action and dialogue well with emotion.
cool.
And I used to work at Walt Disney Imagineering where I was designing experiences for people. So I got to use some of my storytelling there and coming up with new ideas. And that was a great job, except that my passion really was writing. So I eventually left so I could devote full time to writing.
That's awesome. So the question I have for you is, how do you plot a story that will intrigue and capture readers?
So I don't think any author or even anyone goes into like, I'm going to intrigue readers with this because something usually, I think authors and I think writers write about something that is key to themselves. And there's certain themes that we write about. And so someone might be always writing redemption stories because there's something in them that they feel needs to be redeemed or they want that type of thing. So they're attracted to that. And then they're sort of attracted to a character that sort of represents that. And so I think oftentimes as writers, we're like, okay, I have this great character and this great thing happened to him. But then how do you turn that into a story? And that's where a little more of the discipline comes in because you start to have conversations in your head with the character and people they meet and what they do. So I think when you then apply sort of the analytical mind to your sort of more loosely creative mind, you can look at, okay, if this character is this, this, and this,
Mhm.
what would be an interesting scenario for them?
Yeah.
And then kind of figure out, okay, where do I want them to, you sort of have to know the end to get to the beginning a little bit. So it helps to know if you want to intrigue someone, then where do I want to take them first? Okay, I want to take them to the land of Oz, whatever. Okay, now how do I get there? So then I think if you know that and a little bit of the journey, and you may not know the whole plot, but you know some of the stuff going on, it's about going back to that, like, okay, what happens on page one? And what's the thing that changes in their life and sends them off, and figuring out what that moment is. Because I think there has to be lots of those moments, but I think that first moment is super important to engaging people up front. And, we call it the inciting incident or whatever, but it's that moment where their life changes. And, you kind of want it to be a little bit emotional and significant. So I think that is, you want to hook them in the first couple pages. In screenplays are like by page 8, 10 is not even allowed anymore. Like by
Yeah.
page 8, have them hooked and we know what the story's about. So I think it's that, but I think it's like, it's that action, but it's also, I know a little bit about emotionally what needs to happen too. Does that help?
That helps a lot. That is fantastic. Thank you so much.